Welcome back to the Central Indiana Sports Report. IU fans, after the biggest win in IU football history, 30-20 over number 3 Oregon in Eugene. Unbelievable. Grant, take it away.
The biggest thing is here now is, what are they going to say now? It feels like we've been waiting on this. It feels like we've been waiting on this ever since Indiana started to become legit last year. Indiana was legit last year. And everybody was like, oh, they're going to fall off. It's a one-hit wonder. Now it's official. They've proven everyone wrong. I can't help but feel like that there's some tears of joy today. You guys may have seen some cool Indiana moments because you guys are obviously a lot older than me. You've probably seen some cool ones. But today was the best, maybe IU sports moment, and including all sports of my life today. So I'm so happy. I always say, never satisfied. You can't be satisfied in this business. You can't be satisfied if you want to go win a championship. But then tonight, I think there's going to be a party, and tonight's a night to celebrate. And this is just, again, I mean, it's unbelievable.
I asked Grant before the show if I could just come on here and say hell yeah, effing yeah for 20 minutes straight and how that would translate to podcast. I made a promise to him that I wouldn't do that, but I really, really want to.
Yes, it sounds like the right plan because it's unreal.
What do you say? I mean, and being 100% honest here, Indiana won, and it's easy to say now, but I kind of feel like Indiana just dominated Oregon today. Their defense gave up one touchdown in Hutsell. Other than the pick six, they absolutely did nothing in the second half of that game. And Indiana was the better team in a game at Autzen Stadium against Oregon.
Crazy.
Which, death taxes in Indiana at Autzen, and that's about as automatic as it comes.
That's right.
As all good football podcasts are prone to do, I'm going to make a Legally Blonde reference here. What, you went up to Autzen Stadium and won? Is that hard? That's kind of the meme where you see Reese Witherspoon say, what, is that supposed to be hard?
It's just supposed to be difficult, guys.
It wasn't difficult today. We kind of had the prediction there, right, that if Indiana could keep it close, you feel like that could maybe wake some, I think, smart football people up. It's definitely not going to wake up the kind of the people that are just the casuals that want to hop on the narrative that Indiana was never very good. Thought Indiana could keep it close. I thought it'd be a low scoring game. Greg, you said you thought it'd be a low scoring game, and it was for a while. That was a Big Ten football game right there, if I've ever seen one.
Really good defenses.
Two great defensive. Those were the two best defenses in the country. And again, I'm telling you right now.
Whoa. Ohio State still exists.
That's true.
Sure. It's fun right now. Let's have fun. I'll go with it today.
Second and third, guys.
Again, you shut everyone up today, which is the best thing about this. It's not that they won, because they're 6-0. They've won 5 other times before this, so you can enjoy a win. And this is but this is different. You beat are they a blue blood, Oregon?
Not a blue blood in the traditional sense, because their history kind of only dates back to late 90s, early 2000s of dominance, but they're certainly one of the premier college football programs of this millennium. There's zero question about that. I mean, they're a top 5 of this past 25 years, I would say.
And this is something that I just thought of as you were saying that, is that everybody picked against Indiana on every national television thing today except for one guy. And it's the one guy that I think actually knows what the hell he's talking about, in Pat McAfee.
Or the guy smart enough to marry an Indiana girl.
Yep.
Because that was his whole reason for picking them today. He even said.
By the way, I said earlier this week I thought the national championship would end with Dan Lanning hoisting the trophy, and it still might. But that's how good I think they are. To answer your question, Grant.
They're good. They're big, right? And you could kind of see there at the start of the second half, I text Mike and like you could see the adjustment Oregon made in the second half is that they were going to tighten up. They're going to bring pressure more. Indiana's offensive line is good, I think. And they stepped up big, especially in the fourth quarter. But I almost feel like compared to Oregon, they're tiny. Like they're smaller offensive line compared to Oregon's. Indiana next year, this is not necessarily a complaint, but I think an observation is next year Indiana needs about 5 Pat Coogans on the line. 5 guys that are about the size of Pat Coogan. And that's not a complaint. Think about it. Oh, they're bitching about the O-line they won. No, I don't care.
I ain't
Indiana,
bitching about nothing right now.
no, nope. And I won't bitch about anything as long as they just win. Just continue to win. You've done what you needed to do. You proved it. We predicted 11-1, 10-2 with Penn State losing today. We don't want to jump the gun, but should we maybe start? I'm
That's
not going to
what
say
we
it.
said coming into the game, Grant.
With
not gonna
Allard
say it.
carded off the field today. Let's consider that as well.
So
Old Dominion gets doubled up by Marshall, by the way, for bad news on the Indiana
I don't
front.
think
Old
that
Dominion
matters much
lost.
anymore.
They lost.
Yeah, they lost 48-24.
You're kidding. Wow. I've tuned out pretty much all of college football except for that one the entire afternoon.
Yeah, I didn't know. I saw the Penn State score come across the wire. I was like, oh, I kind of forgot there were other games going on.
Yep. And
Greg
and
texted
this
a Penn
just
State update during the game, and I was like, Greg, I'm paying as much attention to that as this Pacers preseason game right now.
Exactly. Didn't even know what was going on, and it popped up on my feed that they lost.
And this just in right now, Drew Aller from Penn State has now suffered a season-ending injury against Northwestern. He will be out for the rest of the year. That just came across as we were talking. So
I texted my Pennsylvania friends and says, at least you have 3 rivers to choose from in Pittsburgh to throw James Franklin into. So
now you can't have a hangover next week. Can't be hungover against Michigan State. Homecoming, I'm telling you right now, that may be the most expensive ticket in IU football history now. You just beat number 3 on the road.
There's no May to it.
Oh, it is.
I don't know, Grant. They have a showdown coming in 2 weeks with the revived, reanimated corpse of UCLA football, baby.
How bad is Deshaun Foster, man?
Holy crap. That's going to be the game day game in 2 weeks at this rate. So
could you? I actually would not be shocked. I'm serious. I wouldn't be shocked. We'll see.
I'm not
yet.
going to dive into game analysis. I'm just going to bask in it because for the 83-point game in Madison I sat through, for the Gator Bowl I watched.
That's right.
For the bucket game that they actually ended up winning, but it was like 14 people against Purdue in like 2000 in a just deluge of rain. For all these moments that I've sat and watched this football team, they just played the number 3 team in the country, and they were the better team on the field.
And you think about the loss to Ole Miss in 2020 in the bowl. You think about you think about the Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium against Duke. Think about the lowest of low moments, even the low moments of beating, even though they won, beating Akron. Think about that. Think about how long this program has come from celebrating a win that you get made fun of on social media for beating effing Akron in 4 overtimes. And you just went on the road 2 years later, mind you. That was 2 years ago. It seems like a lifetime ago.
Absurd.
And beat the number 3 team in the effing country, guys.
This whole thing is absurd.
One post-game highlight, Elijah Surratt calling out the city of Bloomington's Chamber of Commerce for not having a Waffle House in the city limits. He said we'd be celebrating at a Waffle House tonight if we had one in Bloomington, and just looked deadpan to the camera. It's like, come to Scottsburg Waffle House. You want to see
That's
some
right.
things. That the walls of the Scottsburg Waffle House have seen some things, man. I'm telling you.
Again, we'll be talking about stats and strategy and coaching and all that on the IU report later this week. This moment is just for talking about how absurd this is.
I want to just individual players. You can shout out everybody almost at some point or another, but Isaiah Jones, this kid's kind of come out of nowhere, and he's a force, an absolute force at this point. Have to have him on the field. Indiana, one of the few teams in the country that plays 3 linebackers, regardless of who they're playing, because you have to have Aiden Fisher, you have to have Isaiah Jones, and you have to have the third linebacker out there. And Kellen Wyatt looked like he got injured, maybe seriously injured in the first quarter of that game. I texted Grant. I was like, I saw that as it happened. It didn't look good. And he comes back. He makes key plays. Mikhail Kamara, we're going to get him into the drama department sometime this week because he's got to learn to do the arm flail when he's being obviously held by an offensive lineman because it happens every play. He's got to learn to over-dramatize that play. And then D'Angelo Pons. There was some Oregon smack talk. It's like, we're going to pretend. Indiana fans have been kind of cool this week, so we're actually going to pretend D'Angelo Pons is good. I think D'Angelo Pons is pretty freaking good, guys. When you see him on that stage at the NFL draft, I think that's going to be a reminder, but I think you got a firsthand look at just how good that kid actually is today. Because Oregon had one play made down the field, and that was a
busted coverage.
A botch. Yeah, that was a busted coverage by Amari Farrell.
Same thing against Illinois.
Yeah. My son said after the game, we'll give up one big touchdown a game, but damn it, that's all you're going to get.
Yep. Here's how I look at it is, think about last year and all the guys that said they were coming back, like Pons, Surratt, Fisher, Kamara, all those guys that came back, a couple guys on the line. Just think about all the guys that returned from last year. They came back to Indiana because of today. Think about it like that. They came back to play at Indiana today or this year because of games like today, because they felt like they could win games like today. And I think you get a chip on your shoulder. We've heard Sig say it a lot of times that they operate best when they got a chip on their shoulder. Now, aside from all the other stuff Signetti's done everywhere else, this is the biggest win in his career out of any stop, right? I mean, I know he went to a national championship at JMU in the FCS, but like, that's FCS. Come on.
There's zero question about it. And he'd even agree to that. I think he was borderline. I was watching a lot of CBS before I jumped on here. Borderline emotional. You know how emotional he actually gets. Usually it's anger. But
this is the best win in the country by any team this year right now.
No question.
Right? It's up there. I mean, A&M going into Notre Dame was a good one.
Yeah.
This was a prove it game, and they went beyond proving it.
Nobody can say a single thing about the preseason schedule, about who they played, who they've beaten, how they played against any team. Nothing matters. Even Brandon Walker, the loudest, most obnoxious hater of programs in the country in college football, who has been very outspoken about how he thinks Indiana's a fraud and Coach Signetti goes into big games and plays don't hurt me football rather than try to win. He came out today and he's like, guys, I'm dead ass wrong about Indiana football. Yep. And to get that out of Brandon Walker is a pretty big mea culpa. Because he's
all you have to do is watch the last couple years. It's obvious. It jumps right out at you that he's the best coach in the country.
Talent evaluator. He's definitely there. I'm a huge Lanning fan. I thought maybe he was the best, but
yeah,
he taught Dan Lanning. Shanahan, a guy I've bitched about in big games for full today.
He was good today. Mike, that was one of my biggest concerns coming in was if the play calling was how it would be against Iowa, then they had no shot.
They should be third. It should be Ohio State, Miami, IU.
I mean, you would think. I'm trying to think of who 4th and 5th are
Ole
right
Miss.
now. Ole Miss
who
won
a close game.
And A&M.
did not bathe themselves in glory against Washington State.
And
Who's
A&M right
5?
now.
A&M is playing Florida right now. They're leading 14-7. They trailed early. We'll see how those things shake out, and it's purely going to be because of numbers going into that game if Indiana isn't third. When Brett McMurphy releases his poll tomorrow and Indiana's 19th.
It started to become a thing there when I was watching this game on whether or not, like, I think it became evident there in the third quarter when they went up, or when they went up 20-13. I kind of thought to myself, I'm not sure I see a scenario where Indiana loses this game right now.
I told producer Susie after the interception return, IU is going to win this game. That's how confident I was that they were just better. And I texted Grant, win or lose this game, you've proven you're the best 3-4 teams in the country, and there's no doubt about it. Yeah, you can hang with anyone. Maybe Ohio State, the exception, I don't know.
The years of Indiana football, Grant got a brief reminder of the years of Indiana football, because there's one thing you cannot do when you're up 20-13 and the crowd is completely out of the game. And Indiana football, the gods woke up just long enough to be like, oh yeah, we're going to F and remind you. You're going to throw a pick six here.
Yep.
It was a horrible pass. Horrible pass.
Yeah. Probably the worst
just
pass
a terrible
he's thrown
decision.
all year.
Terrible decision, back foot throw. And that's, my poor dog, he's going to be having like like flashbacks because he can't survive me being loud. And Indiana football does not bring out the best in me sometimes. So he's been hiding in the office for since the pick six. He hasn't come out.
Unlike Eagles football and Red Sox baseball, and
the city of Philadelphia had to die Thursday night so that Indiana football could fly today. So
we'll take it.
Last night I'm watching the Tigers, and just a back and forth battle of a game there where looked like they had a chance. Mariners ended up walking it off in the bottom of the 15th. I told my dad right after the game, I go, I'll take that right there. I don't even care as long as Indiana wins tomorrow. And so some almighty power must have heard me and was like, okay, there you go.
Trade that one any day, man.
Trade it all day, baby.
You like the Tigers, you love the Hoosiers.
Like the Tigers, love the Hoosiers. It's a great way of putting it.
We've had to sacrifice an entire basketball program to get a season like this out of football. So
I'm not complaining.
At least Signetti's making it worth it. And Grant, your scenario, I don't want to jinx it, but it's completely in play now.
Yep.
Indiana plays Louisville on December 6th at Gainbridge, and the Big Ten championship game is at Lucas Oil that night.
Yep.
Yeah. When you said that, I thought that was crazy. And now I can't see a scenario where they're not in it.
As I've heard some people say, there's opportunities for them to trip on their dick at some point.
Even if they do, I still think they're going to end up in the Big Ten championship.
They do have the head-to-head with Oregon now. That's huge. Yeah. I didn't see what Nebraska's got the cakewalk schedule.
Nebraska won.
They ended up winning, so they may come out of the season with one Big Ten loss.
Michigan's
got the Penn, and they've got Ohio State. So
you got to hope Ohio State. You got to hope Ohio State can trip up against Michigan again.
Not if you want it to be Ohio State and Indiana. That's what I'm saying. Ohio State's going to go unbeaten. They're going to be one of the teams. And I don't see a way that Indiana's not going to be the other one, especially with the tiebreaker over Oregon.
I'll say one thing about the schedule is some games that we were taking for granted have gotten a little trickier than I thought they were going to be.
I was thinking about that earlier today. Northwestern and
UCLA, they don't play Northwestern.
Don't look so bad.
UCLA is all of a sudden a juggernaut. And then Maryland.
That's right. It was Maryland, not Northwestern.
They keep, and that's a road game, so they keep figuring out ways to win. Mike Loxley, he always gets talent there. He's rarely coached it, but he gets talent there, and maybe he's figured something out. You know what, Purdue? It's cute. You just scored a touchdown against Minnesota. That's adorable.
Boilermakers will win in this game, guaranteed.
Your season's holding on like Devin Maccabee's hairline. That's cute. You go up there and you row that boat against Minnesota, buddy. That's a neat little win if you get it today.
Hey, it wasn't that long ago. It was IU. The same thing, man.
Barry Lombardi,
Pete,
man.
They beat the effing Oregon Ducks today, guys. And there's Mike's politically incorrect statement of the podcast. We've got to get it in. Does Kurt Signetti hate children? He made the kids in Iowa unhappy, and now the kids who are building Phil Knight's shoes are going to have to work a few extra hours because the Nike people are going to be pissed off about what happened today. So those poor kids who are building those Jordans,
yeah,
their shifts just went an extra 8 hours now.
Oh man, Cody's pissed off too, man.
Oh man,
what's he gonna say now?
Oregon wasn't that good.
Yep.
Oregon never beat anybody. Grant, do you think my theory might have a little bit of legs? Do you think Dante Moore was a little dinged up after that play where he was limping coming off the field?
Absolutely. He was not the same player afterwards.
Yeah, he just seemed a little late with his throws, and his body language completely changed after that. So I am a little curious to find out if something happened on that play, because that seemed to be the pivotal moment in the game was after that drive.
Well, that'll be everybody's excuse then, is if he's out and he's hurt and has to miss time. Oh, well, Dante Moore played hurt in that game. If he wasn't hurt, then Oregon would have won. That'll be everybody's excuse.
Nonsense. We're going to be talking about all of this again later this week. I think Wednesday morning, maybe Tuesday night, on the IU report. Grant, Mike, final thoughts?
What can we say here that's already not been covered? Indiana went on the road 2,000 miles from home, beat the crap, maybe not the crap, but beat a pretty good team, and I thought really played well in some spurts. And it almost looked like for a minute there in the first half when Oregon was feeding off the crowd and everything, kind of getting home to Indiana, sacked Fernando one time there in the first half, that, it's starting to look like Ohio State again from last year. And I think Indiana kind of shut their own people up a little bit when they start having those thoughts. Because let's face it, we may not say it, but at some point or another, Indiana fans are thinking worst case scenario at some point or another, before or during the game, not after now. But
Truly.
it's a momentum shifting win for the program. It's the biggest win in program history. I cannot believe I'm saying that. I feel like we've said that over the years, and probably at the time it was true. This win right here makes the Michael Penix dive at the pylon, whether he was in or not. Well, we really don't know, but that makes this one look cute. I'll never forget reacting to that one. That was number one as an IU fan. That was my number one moment as an IU fan. And, when Isaiah Jones had the pick there to basically seal it and get the ball back under the 2-minute warning, first play out of the 2-minute warning, and, they go down and take a knee and just have to get a stop again. It was virtually over at that point. And
the level of celebration and the Shouse home was what?
Well, I was the only one here, so that may be 10? A good thing. Oh, dude,
So when was 10?
Yeah, so I watched it in our garage. We have a TV out in the garage, a flat screen, and I watched the entire game out there, which I've never done before. So maybe that might be my new thing, is watching. I was going to say
it's going to be cold in December if you're watching the Big Ten title game out there, buddy. But you better be there.
I know. Well, if they're in the Big Ten title game, I'll be there. Man. When Isaiah Jones had the interception there, And I never saw him get tackled. All I saw was him pick it off, and I was gone out the garage, outside, in the yard, down the street. I apologized to my neighbors on the 4100 block of Marion, Indiana here, because they heard it. I don't think I've ever been that loud. So just an unbelievable day. Great day to be an Indiana fan. I vividly remember the Watt shot. I have recollection of where I was. I don't remember watching it live or anything. I was 6 years old, so, or maybe I was 7. I have no idea. But there's just so many good moments that I feel like I missed out on when I was a kid, just because I was too little and don't have recollection.
Keith Smart will always be very difficult to replace at number 1.
Absolutely. I was like similar. I was like 6 when that happened. So it wasn't, I was just discovering sports at that time. The only blackout moment I've had as an Indiana fan, as an adult Indiana fan, where it was the Duke game at Rupp Arena.
Yeah.
Where Dane Fife fouled Jay Williams and I broke off his furniture. Which I'll now admit because the statute of limitations is run, I'm pretty sure at this point. But yeah, there was a chair, a wall, and almost a $10,000 copy machine that got severely damaged after that foul. But then when he won, when the free throw was missed and they ended up winning the game, I was running on Spring Street in Jeffersonville, Indiana, and had no recollection of how I got there. And there was a lot of doors I had to go through to get there. And tonight, I'm not running around. I'm not jumping in the Ohio. But I am sitting on the back deck after this. I'm drinking a spotted cow or 10. And I'm going to just enjoy the hell out of this. Because if you've been in Indiana football for any amount of time, you've got your young fan here in Grant who's never had a good memory. You got your old fat guys like me and Greg who don't have good memories of Indiana football. This is surreal. Yeah. Again, Indiana went to Oregon and was the better team. Point blank. That's the bottom line. And it was a sentence that I never thought I would be able to say out loud, unironically, in my lifetime.
Unbelievable.
And my final thought is that for the first time in my life, it is not absurd that Indiana football could end the season as a national champion. And that is absurd. Crazy what this guy's done.
Build the statue now. Just do it.
Just go ahead and get it over with. Thanks so much to Grant and Mike. That was one of the most fun reactions we've done, although they have all been fun so far this year. Man, this team is for real. Thank you so much for listening. Please share this podcast with an IU fan in your life and help spread the word. The Central Indiana Sports Report is here talking about Central Indiana sports every single day. We will be back Tuesday night or Wednesday morning with our next IU report. Please join us. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of IPG Media. And I love Susie.